You can't stay in a situation where she's freaking out because you're just not gonna get anywhere. Ladies, if you're watching this, you know darn well that if a man stays and tries to continue to appease you and cower to you, you're still gonna be mad, you're not gonna get anywhere, and you're not gonna respect him if you're really triggered. Don't ever say sorry to a woman. You're gonna use these magical words instead. Now I know what you're asking, but Anna, what if I really did screw up? Like I did a big doozy and I should say sorry. You're gonna use some different words, otherwise you're going to look weak. Ooh, so how do you get around this? If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. Welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in any of these situations? Let's say you cancel a date with your girl to go out with the boys, end up flirting with Ashley, and then get caught on social media by your girl. Uh-oh. Or how about this one? Maybe you did a little more than flirt with Ashley. What if you spent your whole savings on the next hot NFT and now you're broke and can't pay your share of the rent or a mortgage or your own rent and she finds out? What if you lost your job because of your temper again? In other words, what if your actions or inactions have truly hurt or disrespected your girl and or your relationship? Or what if she's demanding an apology? Or if she's upset and crying? Most of you guys know that a woman's tears are like kryptonite to most men. And you will often say anything to make them stop. Now listen guys, I'm not saying there aren't times when you do need to man up for what you've done, because if you really did mess up and you broke her trust or disrespected her or the relationship, then yes, an apology is needed. Just like you would want her to apologize if she disrespects you or your relationship with her. Relationships are a two-way street. They always require effort, and you're gonna mess up. People make mistakes. But it could be something innocent, or somewhat innocent, like checking out another girl and getting caught when you're with your girl. A lot of women don't like that. Most women don't like that. But in most of these instances, when you say the words, "I'm sorry," it makes you look weak instead of strong. And instead of her just feeling hurt and or disappointed or frustrated or angry, now she's lost respect for you and she doesn't even understand that, so it makes her even more frustrated. Most women don't even understand their own feelings. So just before we get into the magical words that work wonders, let's look at weakness and strength. The key to a sincere apology is in owning the mistake without looking needy or weak. If you cower to her emotions, you're going to look weak. She doesn't want you to look weak. She doesn't want you to be weak. She wants you to be strong enough to change your behavior. And if you're groveling or cowering toward her because of her reaction, which if you've really done something wrong, you are going to get an emotional reaction. Women are emotional creatures. But if you're begging for forgiveness and apologizing with, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," she's going to automatically, unconsciously at the very least, if not consciously, understand that you're just trying to get her to forgive you, to not leave you, to not be mad at you, to avoid conflict. That's not strong. That doesn't make her trust that you're not going to do this thing again. She's not going to trust the apology. Whereas strength and accountability come from a place of love and respect. Love and respect for both yourself and for her. You are apologizing in a way that makes her feel safe about moving forward with you and trusting that you're not going to do the thing again because you don't want to do the thing again, because that's not within your character. You're disappointed in yourself and you're going to change that. When she sees that's where your apology is coming from, it'll make a huge difference in how much she trusts you. Now, that doesn't mean she's going to automatically and instantly stop being upset by the situation. It's going to take time to prove that the behavior has changed. Just like if she does something, you're not going to automatically trust her right away. Let's look at the examples from the intro. You canceled the date and got caught flirting with Ashley. Let's assume you actually want a relationship with this person and you want her to be loyal and you want yourself to be loyal and you want to be able to love and respect each other and have a sustainable relationship. So you did mess up and you do need to apologize. A little side note here. If she's a keeper, she deserves love and respect and she does deserve an apology, just like you would. If she's not a keeper, dude, why are you with her? So first, when you're dealing with an apology, you must be in person, face to face. Now, if that's not physically possible because you're in different towns or cities, then at least FaceTime. This is not a conversation for texting, no matter what your age is. Too much gets lost in translation. If she's mad and she won't see you in person, you have to insist at least in talking on the phone. I know that's going to be uncomfortable for some of you who are not used to talking on the phone or don't like it. Now, if you cave on this point and agree to just text her, then she's going to again see you as being weak, and it's not going to go very well. So if she's insisting that she doesn't want to see you or talk to you or FaceTime, then give her some space, because either she's really upset, you've really done a doozy, or she's emotionally damaged. Go back to, what are you doing with her? You cannot have a successful, happy relationship with someone who won't agree to communicate in emotionally mature and effective ways when challenges come up, because they absolutely will. What are the magical words, Anna? Just get to the words. Okay, but the preamble was really important and you might even want to watch it again. The magical words are, babe, I messed up. You deserve to be treated better than that. Babe, or baby, or bae. Bae in Danish is poop. Just a little side note for you. Babe, I messed up. You deserve to be treated better than that. Now notice the tone. You're not defensive. You're owning it. You're not begging or pleading. You're owning it, but you're also delivering the apology. What else did we note? We did not say the words, I'm sorry. Key point, expect that she may still be upset. These are just words after all, which is why you're going to add these words or something like it. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen again by doing such and such. Now, such and such is whatever you know you need to do to overcome that area of weakness. Because if it wasn't an area of weakness, you wouldn't have done it. We all make mistakes. We all have blind spots. We all have weaknesses. And owning your flaws and taking responsibility for changing things you need to isn't weakness. It is strength. Again, just like you would want her to do for you. Such and such might be, I'm not going to hang out with Mark on the weekends anymore because I just know he's a bad influence for me. It's not his fault, but when I get together with him, I revert back to high school me. Or it might be, babe, I'm going to limit myself to 3 drinks when I go out without you, because I know when I drink more than that, then shit happens. And I don't want to be that man. And I want you to feel safe. Or it might be, babe, I'm going to avoid Ashley when you're not around because I know she likes me and sometimes strokes my ego. And I know you deserve better than that, so I'm just not going to do it. The difference between delivering these types of statements from a place of strength versus weakness is in your intent to be a better man because you want to be a better man, because that's the kind of person you want to be. That's how you want to identify yourself. That's how you want your character to be. That's how you want to honor yourself in the world. And because you respect her and she deserves it. Key point, she may still be upset. And that's normal. Again, these are just words. It's going to take some time for her to trust, especially if what you've done is really bad. Bad in the relationship or went against your spoken or unspoken agreements. If you broke trust or disrespected, apologies are required, male or female. And the best apology, of course, is changed behavior. Now, what if you did more than flirt with Ashley? Ooh, okay. I'm not going to go too much into this because it's a real can of worms on this one. And there's a lot of variables. But if your woman is willing to forgive you and give you another chance, you're going to have to do more than offer up what you think will make her safe. You're going to have to ask her. You can offer it up, but then you're also going to have to ask her, what do you need me to do now to help you feel safe again? Understanding that it's going to take time for her to see that you're making these efforts, especially when you screw up really big, then yeah, just like you If you actually did stay with someone who really, really betrayed you, it would take time for you to trust them again. Realize it might be more restrictive for you until she really learns to trust you again. If she's emotionally mature and invested in your relationship, she will get there with time and proof. Key point, if you're the one to offer up concessions first, it will make her feel a little bit more safe as long as you're not begging and offering up everything under the sun. You're not losing yourself just to keep her. Notice you still haven't said the words, I'm sorry. Apologizing includes validating her feelings and finding solutions that make her feel safe. Okay, what if she's crying or freaking out? If she's far too triggered to have an emotionally mature, rational discussion in this red hot minute, then you need to table it and talk about it later. Yeah, but Anna, how do I do that without her thinking I'm just ignoring the problem? Well, glad you asked. The reason women often freak out when you want to table something is because a lot of times, if she calms down, men think she's okay now, and they just like sweep it under the rug and don't go back to dealing with it. So the evidence of the past shows that you haven't gone back to deal with it. So she's got to trust that you'll come back to deal with it by you proving that you come back to deal with it. Not going to happen the first time, especially if you've swept things under the rug for a long, long time. If you say something like, you have every right to be upset. I don't know what you need from me right now. Can we continue this conversation tomorrow? Now, if you've said that, something like that in the past, let's talk about it later, and then you haven't, then you must add, I promise we'll talk about this tomorrow when we're both more clear-headed. Probably freak out more again, especially if you haven't shown up in the past, but you can't get anywhere when she's triggered. Ladies, you're not going to get anywhere when you're triggered. You know this. Depending on how bad the thing you did was, how triggered she is, how emotionally mature she is, or how damaged she is, will determine her reaction. You may need to remove yourself from the situation. Maintain your frame, don't cower, don't lose your cool. You can say something like, I really like you, or if it's appropriate, I really love you. I want to work this out. We're not getting anywhere right now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, so pay attention to the tone of my voice throughout that. Gentle, but firm. Key point, she might still be upset, depending on the situation. She might even freak out and say, if you leave, don't come back. Now, if she really means that, well, there's nothing you can do anyway. You might as well throw in the towel. But she's probably just really upset. And she doesn't like that she's going to be left in this state, even though she can't manage her own emotions. Ladies, I know, I have been there. Don't try to deny it. So then you just have to again say, I really like you. I want to work this out. And then you leave. Or I really love you. I want to work this out. And then you leave. You go to your room. If you can't and she chases you down, or if you don't live together, then you go home or you go to a friend's place, or you go to a hotel if you have to. You can't stay in a situation where she's freaking out because you're just not going to get anywhere. Ladies, if you're watching this, you know darn well that if a man stays and tries to continue to appease you and cower to you, you're still going to be mad, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're not going to respect him if you're really triggered. And again, fellas, you must follow through on having the conversation again. Even if it seems like things are fine, she will tell you the next day if things are really fine, or whenever you see her again or talk to her again. You can't assume it's fine, and then you have to follow through on your promises. And if you've ditched these conversations in the past, you're going to have to be extra diligent to let her know you are going to resume this conversation. And then you have to do that. You have to resume the conversation. Now, what if you've done something really egregious? It's a good word, egregious. Really, really bad. Like cheating or gambling all your savings away if you're married, or some such thing. And she insists on hearing the words, I'm sorry. Well, you can give it to her if you ever want to give it to her again. But say, I am sorry, instead of just, I'm sorry. Because the shortened, I'm sorry, is a casual throwaway that we hear far too often. You're going to say, I am sorry. Only once. Once is enough. Don't keep saying it. That becomes groveling, even if you're not. Remember, scarcity increases value. If you're always saying sorry for something, then the words become meaningless. Key point. If you've delivered these types of phrases, these magical words of apology, you've maintained your cool, you haven't cowered like a child, you've been respectful, even if internally you're frustrated. I get you, you're frustrated. Women are frustrating. Sorry, ladies, we are. And you haven't done anything extremely egregious and she's still freaking out? Siren, that's a red flag. That's a warning sign. Either she's damaged goods, or your values don't match, or you've let her treat you poorly for far too long. We teach people how to treat us. Key point, allowing her to punish you to the point where you lose yourself in the relationship and you lose your masculine frame does not serve either of you in the relationship. Now, there are some phrases you should never say to an angry woman. Otherwise, you're just going to be throwing gas on the fire. She'll just go from 0 to bazillion on the rage meter. Not good. And I guarantee at some point, all of you have uttered these phrases to a woman and found out just how challenging they can be. They as in the ladies and the phrases. So if you utter any of these phrases after you've prepped all this wonderful work that you've just done with these magical words, all that prep goes down the drain. So if you want to know what to never say to an angry woman, you're going to want to watch these videos next. And if you want to know what words to use when you go back for that conversation that you're going to have to get more of what you want, less of what you don't want, and to have a more productive and effective conversation about whatever it is that went wrong, then you're going to want to watch my video on how to resolve conflict with an angry woman. Thanks for being here. God bless.